Hello, my friends. Happy Easter. I am really glad that you're here with me today. So, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. When I have made videos for Heartfelt Creation on their channel, I had always created the cards 100% in advance and then made all the pieces a second time and had them all ready to go and then recreated the card for you on video. But on my own channel, I have decided that rather than make the exact same card 100% twice, sometimes I'll just have the pieces ready to go and then I'll create the actual card live with you on the video. So you will see a bit more of my process and my thinking through things, and things may not work exactly right. I mean, on the heartfelt videos, I always kind of had most of the bugs ironed out before I did it for you, but you may see more of the bugs now. So hopefully that'll be okay with you. So let's go ahead and change our camera view. I have made all the pieces to create an Easter card, and I have a plan. So let's see if it's going to work out. Okay, so this is my template, and this is to make a center stepper card, and it comes out to be a 6x6 card. And I have some pieces here. For my Easter card, I am going to be using the Dogwood flower. This is some of the paper that I chose to use. I'm going to be using this die set. I cut out the main circle here in Luxe Gold. And we'll go through some of these other pieces once we get our template made. All right, so you're going to start out with a piece of paper that measures 6 by 12. Okay, I'll kind of set them like this and hopefully you'll be able to see. So let me show you on this one and then we'll do it to our second one. So this measures 6 by 12 complete. So I'm going to light my ruler right here. Sorry, I want to turn it around this way. Okay, so it's 6 by 12. You're going to measure 4¼ inches from the top and measure down and put a little mark. Then turn your ruler this way at the 4¼ from the top and draw a little line 1 inch in. So this kind of ruler kind of helps you because it also marks my inches this way, so I don't have to redo my ruler. But right here and right here, you're going to measure 1 inch in. And this is where you're going to score. So this line right here and this line right here is a score mark. And that's 1 inch in from both sides and 4¼ down. Then you're going to, from this point, you're going to measure 4 inches down from here and make another one. And you're going to make a fold right here. This will be from here to here will be a score line. From here to here will be a score line. Then I'm going to come down from the very bottom, from the other end, and I'm going to go 2 inches up. And I'm going to put another score line from here to here and from here to here. The last thing I'm going to do is 6 inches from the top, or you could go 6 inches from the bottom because it is 12 inches long. And between, you're going to add a score line here, but only in the center. You're going to stop at 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the edge. This mark that connects all your score lines, that is going to be a cut line. So hopefully that all makes sense. And when we do it again on this sheet of paper, I think it will make sense. So let's do that again together. Okay, let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4¼ Made my mark. I'm going to turn my piece like this. Can you all see still? Okay, now I'm going to go 1 inch in right here. Got everything square. Over here, I'm going to go 1 inch in. Okay. Now we're going to go 4 inches from this mark and make another mark. Maybe that's a little too high up. Okay. Come down here and do the exact same thing again. So I'm going to make a mark 1 inch in and make a mark 1 inch in. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom and go 2 inches up. And same thing from that mark, I'm going to go 1 inch in. I was a little above it. 1 inch in, and do I have that in the right spot? 1 inch in. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect all these lines at 1 inch in, because that's going to be a cut line. Same with over here. I'm going to connect all of these from the top one to the bottom one, and that's a cut line. Now I'm going to go from the other end, and I'm going to measure 6 inches down. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way around, this way. Well, doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure I get my mark in the right spot. All right. And now across this line, just inside, I'm going to go 1 inch over, and I'm going to stop 1 inch from the edge. That is going to be a score line. Okay? All right, so now let's do those things. All right. So I'm going to score 1 inch in. And is that in the right spot? I'm not scoring here, but I want to, it's not finding the mark. There it is. Okay. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to score this one. And it should, if you've made your marks in the right spot, there we go. Now right here at the 6, I'm going to score right inside my cut marks. And then to do this one, because I have a short board, I'm going to have to turn it around, which is okay. And we'll do it right here. All right. Now it might have been better to turn it like this. I'm just going to reinforce some of these to make sure. Okay, that ought to be. Okay, so I've scored on all the score lines. Now let's go to the paper cutter. I'm going to put this so it's 1 inch from the edge, and at the 2 inches from the bottom. All right, yep. And I'm going to cut up until my little arrow is right at my line, and hopefully that's perfect. Excuse my head there, had to look. All right, I think that's good. Let's do it again on this side. Put it at the 1 inch mark. And this time it'll be 4 1/4 up, which is right there. And again, and this time it's just going to go to the 2. All right. Now, if everything's been measured correctly, this is going to give us our center stepper card. So the first fold for the 2 inches up from the bottom, you're going to fold in a mountain. You're going to fold it back. Then the next one, you're going to fold it up like a V. Okay, so the first one goes down like a mountain. The next one goes up like a V or a valley. Then this one is going to go down again and down again. Ta-da! We did it! All right, hopefully that all made sense. Sometimes I get confused with mountain and valley, so hopefully, if we did everything right, then that should all come together just right at the bottom. Okay. Just squaring it all up, reinforcing all of these folds. I have to lift this up and burnish the ones underneath, these 2 folds down here, and that'll help it all fold well. Okay, there we go. Now, let's open it back up and talk about the pieces we're going to need to decorate this card. For this section right here, starting from your very top score line to this section, you need a piece that is cut 1 inch by 4 inches. So I have done that. Grab my pieces. All right, so this little 1 inch by 4 inch is going to go right there. And you're going to need 2 of those for each side, and they are 1 inch by 4 inch. Then this piece is going to measure 2 inches by 6 inches, and it's going to go right here. This is a white piece, and I'm going to go ahead and measure it because I don't want to tell you wrong because I can't remember. Yeah, it's 4 inches by 6. Okay, 4 by 6. And I'm going to put that one right here. Now, this one, you can make it any length that you want. If you want to, you can cut this shorter and have it shorter. You have lots of options. Then I've cut another piece that is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, just so I have a frame. And that's going to go right here. You don't need to decorate this part because it's going to fold down underneath, but this is going to be our card base. Now remember that die set that I told you I used? I cut the main piece on that out in the Luxe Gold. Then I cut my largest eyelet circle in white, and then an oval that measured 1/4 inch smaller in a green paper, and that I'm going to put right here. Okay? So, I'm not going to glue this on yet because we have some other things we're going to do to this, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this part down. Now, I have gone ahead and gone around the edges of all my papers with these. I put vibrant fuchsia around the edges. I'm going to go ahead and glue down each of these pieces. Okay. Make sure I got those. You want to avoid getting it into your, which I think I did right here, so I'm going to trim that off just a tad because I don't want that to, it's in my fold line. There we go. All right, now some of these you can see that's sticking up a little high, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off as well. It should measure perfectly, but sometimes it doesn't. So there we go. We just trimmed a little bit off. All right, now for this piece, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. And you could do this piece, I chose to do it in white because I wanted this yellow piece to have a white outline, but you could do this piece in any color cardstock or paper that you wanted to do it in. And you could make it any shape or size. It doesn't have to go all the way down the 6 inches. And I'll have to trim that a little bit because you can see my measurements were not 100% accurate. They're a little bit off, but that happens sometimes. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this piece in. And that will make our card base complete, and we'll move on to the fun parts, which is making flowers and pretty things. All right. All right, so there is my center stepper card. It'll stand up like that. Lay it down like this. Okay, let's set that aside, and we're ready to move on. So like I said, when I'm not always going to make multiple of every card that I make, so because that's going to use up my supplies really fast, and I don't want to use it making the same things over and over. But when I stamp and color my flowers, I stamp and color a whole bunch. So I had these already pre-stamped and colored and ready to go, and when I run out, I'll stamp and color a whole bunch more and get them ready to go. And I do them in all different colors. You can see some down here were cards in the past. I used to have a whole bunch made in those colors, but I've used them. So for my Easter one, I wanted this pale pink anyway, so that's what I had left in my bag. So that's just a fun thing you can do. Having these kinds of things done in advance makes it so I sit down and create this style of card way more often. If I had to start from square one every single time, then it would be like a way more investment of time to make every single card. But because I'm partially there, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so I put together my flowers and I molded all of these by hand. There is not a shaping mold for the dogwood. So I did all of these by pressing in the center of the back and then turning over and pressing in the center. And I layered them up like size with like size. Now in the smaller ones, I just left them one layer. I didn't layer them up, and I used the ribbit frills. But for my larger flowers that I did layer up, I'm going to add some stamens. And for my stamens, I have chose these, and they are from the Pastel Beads Medium. Now, from the Dogwood set, I have also stamped all of these pieces, and I stamped them in brown, or the coffee color, and then I colored the branches with coffee, and the flowers are pink peony and vivid chartreuse. And I just tapped the center of each flower with the vivid chartreuse, and same with the leaves. Okay, so this will give us some pieces to choose from. I have also pulled out, or I stamped one of the little bunnies from the Precious Moments collection, and I stamped it in the coffee color, and then I colored those little flowers with the same pink peony and vivid chartreuse. And I have pulled the pieces from the Dogwood set of the 3 crosses, the Jesus Lives, or the He Lives, and the Happy Easter. And we're going to be adding those in a moment. All right, so let's go ahead and put some stamens in our flowers. All right, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue gun and get that fired up and going. Right. Hopefully it's got enough. Yeah, it should have enough glue. Okay. So for years and years, the dogwood has been one of my favorite flowers, if not the favorite. I just love making the dogwood. It always turns out so pretty, and the way it shapes up, it's just one of my very favorites. When I was first hired for Heartfelt Creation, Jennifer Lowe, who was the traveling classroom teacher, and I was hired to work side by side with her, we were talking about our favorite flowers, and when I said the dogwood, she like gasped, and she was like, "That's my favorite flower." And we just decided from then on we were kindred spirits, because at that point in time it was a much older flower that had been around a long time, but it's always been one of my favorites. So in my larger flower, I think I'm going to put just 3, and then as I go down, I think I'll just put 1. I don't think, see, it'll be just like that. And I'm going to pull them really tight down in there. So, sometimes you leave stamens kind of standing up high, but in this one, I'm going to pull those tight all the way down into my flower center. So I'm going to add just a little bit of hot glue in there. I can get it to come out. There you go. I'm going to pull it way tight down in there, just like that. Okay. I'm going to use this one. That one's got a big chunk off to one side. I don't like that. All right. So I think this card will come together nicely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do some of the smaller ones because I don't think I'm going to need, I've got way more here than what I'm going to need, so. like I said, on the smaller ones, I'm just going to put the one. Whoops. I do not want to burn my finger again. I thought I would have like a scar there, but I don't, so I want to avoid that. So how has everyone been doing? Were you able to get everything you wanted to get from Heartfelt before they switched to digital? And has anybody, whoops, we've still got a few more days. I think this will be airing, you know, on the last days of July, or I mean, on the last days of March. Whoops, got glue all over this one. There we go. All right, well, let's do one more of these small ones. I don't want to need it and not have it. There we go. All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and set these three aside. I think we're going to be good there. I'll go ahead and turn my glue gun off for now. Let those dry. Ah, I'm so silly. Okay. So for this piece right here, it's going to go right here. But I have kind of pre-thought this out. And I think I want this piece to be on here eventually. And inside that circle, I'm going to stamp He Lives and the 3 crosses. So I'm going to lift this up, put my 3 crosses down, and I'm going to stamp these in Versamark ink. Oh, I don't want that. Versamark ink, and use some gold embossing powder. Okay. I just want to double check and make sure the He Lives is somewhat straight up here. It's pretty good. Okay, let me see if that's still within my circle. Yep, that looks good. So I'm going to use a little bit of an anti-static. Brush that around a little bit. And let's see, do I have, yes, I have my gold embossing powder here. My desk is a little crowded today. I don't know why. Okay. Get my ink. Okay, I think I'm going to stamp it in the Gold Encore. Times. All right, that looks pretty good. I know you can't see me because I've got my embossing powder over here to the side because I don't have room on my desk for some reason. But all I did was cover that with embossing powder. Now, really quickly, on this strip that I have right here, I am going to, while I've got my embossing powder out and everything, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Happy Easter right here. And if I decide I want to use it, we will have it embossed and ready to go. I might make a banner that says Happy Easter and put somewhere on this. We'll see how that works out. I may not use it, but I want to have it if I decide I want it. Whoa. Again, just covering that. Oh, I forgot to use anti-static, so hopefully, yeah, not too bad. Good. Okay. clean off my stamps. You guys are probably thinking, I liked it when you had your stuff all ready to go. Then we didn't, you know, it went a little faster, but so my plan is eventually to start doing my Heartfelt videos live again once I get the wedding behind me. So after my daughter's wedding, I will be doing some Heartfelt Creation lives, and I will continue to do them on Fridays at noon just to kind of stay consistent with how the time that I've always done them. And we'll see how that works out. And if we need to make changes, we can. But I thought that would be a good place to start. In the meantime, I'll keep making videos here and there and bringing you some ideas. So, okay, let's go ahead and melt our embossing powder. No. I don't want to warp my paper. I don't know if that's going to show up as well as I wanted it to. All right. Yeah, I thought that would show up much better. I'm debating whether I need to make a white circle to put inside there. I'm going to move forward, and then if I want to do it a second time, I've got other pieces here I can do that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and glue down our pieces. So this piece, I'm going to go ahead and pop it up in place. Let that come up a little bit. Like it's not going to be perfectly up and down waist centered because I'm going to put flowers and our little bunny down here. On this, I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there. There we go. All right, now I made two little pieces like that, and I was kind of thinking that I would be able to decorate kind of over here on the edges with these. So I'm going to trim right here. Let's see, and I do. I think they're going to fit right in there like that. I'm going to stand it up real quick and kind of see how that fits down in there. Yeah, I like that. Now it's okay if it hangs off this edge, but we don't really want it to hang off that inner edge. Okay. And same with this one, but I'm going to cut it down a little bit lower so that it doesn't look exactly the same as the other side. All right. Now I do have one spot I think that I'm going to have to trim back there, but I think that'll be okay. What do you think? I think that's good. This one right down here, we may do some trimming. I don't like that hanging off. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, he can stay right there. Okay. All right. Now, I cut a couple of these, but I don't think I'm going to need them. I wasn't sure if I would want things hanging up at the top, so I think I'll save those for another project. And we are ready to start adding our dimensional flowers. So I'm going to turn my glue gun back on. So you remember I told you that I inked the edges of my papers? The ones that I inked the edges are right here. And these I did not ink. So, oops, I used the wrong ones. So that kind of bothers me. I like my edges inked, but it's okay. We're going to put so many flowers on here, we're not going to notice that. Okay. That looks good. Cut it off. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be beautiful when we start putting our flowers around here. Whoops, that's going to stick to my glue gun. Oh, there's days where I hate hot glue. It comes in handy, but I hate working with it. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. All right, so if I wanted my little bunny to be over here, I'm going to put a little bit of foam behind him, and we're going to surround him with flowers. I have an idea. Whether it all comes together is yet to be seen. So I'm thinking he'll be over here, and we'll surround him with flowers. So I have a funny story to share with you. For my birthday, my mom took me to a place called Aggieland Safari, which is kind of like a drive-through zoo. And they have a giraffe that you can pet, which is a wonderful giraffe. And I love him. His name is George, and he's incredibly sweet and affectionate. He'll literally nuzzle your neck like a cat. But I had my hair in a ponytail. And at one point, I turned for my mom to take a picture, and I wasn't paying attention. It was 100% my fault, not the giraffe's fault. And long story short, he thought my ponytail was a leaf, and he grabbed my ponytail. So it was a bit of a shock, but I still have my hair, thankfully. He let go right away. He realized it was not very tasty, and he let go. But it was something. I did lose a little bit of hair, just a chunk, but not enough that you can notice. I can feel it, though. When it yanked it out, I definitely felt it. All right, so we're going to surround this little bunny with some flowers. See, I've got a whole bunch of little flowers over here, and we can use some of this other filler stuff if we need to as well. I may want to put a little bit of this down in here to build our, in fact, I think I will do that. Okay, I'm just going to add these kind of down in here so that we can build upon them. So we won't be able to chat live, and I'm used to asking you questions and getting responses straight away. So I will ask my questions, and if you would like, I would love it if you would put your comments in the comment section even though we can't chat live on this video. But in the comments, I would love to know if you have made the dogwoods recently. If you thought to grab your dogwoods and get them out for Easter. They're a beautiful flower. I'm just going to hold this big one right here. And I've got a whole pile of leaves over here. We'll start adding in our leaves at the end. And some of these little ones I'm going to kind of put along over in here also. Okay. Let's see. I might need this one. I might have to add a... We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, you're going to see more of my process on this one. Don't know if I need the big one. He's a little too big, I think. But maybe something like this up in here. Let him cool off a little bit. Use him at the top. Okay, now I'm just going to start placing some of these smaller ones around. Go. Just stick to my finger. There we go. What do you think? You liking it? I do. I really like it. Now there's some of these little tiny ones. I'm going to put them over on some of these branches on the side. When you're creating a card like this, it's best to leave it laying down closed, or you're liable to put something on it that, you know, you don't want to get anything down behind here. So having it closed when you're putting it together, you just want to be careful you don't put something where you glue this together. You don't want to glue this part to that part, then it won't open. Ooh, I did. I got my finger. There we go. Not going to touch that one anymore. I got my finger in it twice. Okay. Move that out of the way. I don't want my two sides to match perfectly. I've got two on this side, so I put these two really close together, and then my third one will be down. That way those two sides won't look exactly the same. I always like to be mindful of that. I don't want it so matchy-matchy. I remember in the 80s we matchy-matchied things on purpose, but nowadays you don't want to matchy-matchy. I don't even know where that expression came from, but it seems to be a no-no nowadays. Okay. All right. Get out of there. Okay. That one right here. Maybe just a little bitty one out over here. All right, I think I'm good with flowers now. Where did I put my little Happy Easter piece? So I thought about turning that into a little banner that we could curl through there, but I'm not sure. Because it's white and this is on green, does it completely take away from, so you can't even read that part? I don't know. I'm going to hold off on that. Let's go ahead and put in our leaves. Got lots and lots of leaves to work with, so. My goodness. I just got hot glue like right on my card, like a big glob of it. There we go. It must have fallen off the leaf. It's weird. Okay. You know, I was just thinking I ought to be doing this with my reverse tweezers. That would protect my fingers a little bit. Ooh, but I like the way it's looking. And you know what? I even like the gold on there. I think it's going to turn out really well. Here. I'm going to glue these two leaves together. Like that. Just to put them closer. I don't like my leaves all looking exactly the same. Yeah, there we go. I think we want one right up here. Let's see. Couple more leaves and I think this one is good. I'm getting happy. I thought this one right down here needed a leaf to kind of balance that out down in there. Tuck it under. There we go. And I still be able to see that flower. There we go. Oh wow. I love it. Do you think we need leaves out here on some of these? I really don't like working with these leaves. They're very tiny. But it may be that we need a little bit. Just maybe one on each side. I'm actually going to cut the stem off so I can fit it under there better. Yeah. That'll do it. All right, and then we'll do one more over on this side, and I think my Easter card is complete. Let's put it underneath the petals. There we go. All right. Let's turn the glue gun off. 2, 3. Whoops. All right, here is my Easter stepper card. If you've never made one of these cards, I will take a photograph of it and post it, but I think it just turned out beautiful, and I don't know. I was just thinking whether if I did it again, if I would stamp this in black. And I don't think I would. I like it embossed in gold. I think if I did anything different, I would maybe let this be on a white background instead of a green and put my green background over here or something, because I like the green to balance the yellows and pinks, but I do think that that gold would have shown up better on white and maybe the overall message of the card. But in person, you can see the gold embossing really well. Like when I hold it like this, you can kind of see it better than when it's laying down flat and the light's shining on it. So I really do like it. And I'm probably going to come back and add just a little bit of glitter down on the insides of my flowers. But I am very happy with this dogwood card. So let me switch my camera back. Thank you so much for being with me here at Carrie Lee Creations. I really, really appreciate it. And all your thumbs up, if you share this video, if you make comments, all of that helps my channel grow on YouTube. So I appreciate every single one. And all right, I will look forward to another video coming up soon. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. Thank you. Bye-bye.